Hi, my name is Alexandria, and the title of my activity is called Sight Word Practice. The topic is sight words, and it is geared towards a first grade activity, geared towards first graders. And the objective is for students to write the sight word here, to build the sight word here with pre-cut letters, and identify the sight word here in a bank of similar words, as well as write the word here in a sentence. For this activity, I will be utilizing a worksheet from Teachers Pay Teachers, but I have kind of modified it a little bit because I'm hoping that this would be a review. In a sense, they would already have had a main lesson about this sight word, and now in this small group activity or mini lesson, we are going to be reviewing the word here and doing a little activity to help us become further familiar with the word here. So we will need pencils, one for each student. I would need, since I'm having about 5 students in my small group in different rotations, I would need 5 pencils. I only have 3 here, but I would need 5 pencils, 5 erasers, and I would also be utilizing an index card with the word here. This is just for the students to refer to. And then I would need 5 sets of these cutout letters, which will be used in this worksheet activity. Other materials that I will be using are not necessarily mandatory, but are helpful, and I'll talk about those later. But first, for our activity, I would be sure to have this worksheet face down on the table for each student, as well as their pencil and the other materials they'll need. Everything will be ready for them in front of them when they sit down. Their paper will be flipped over so that I can go over this. I will be holding it up so they can see what will be in front of them, but it kind of eliminates the need for distraction or looking at the paper and wondering or having questions about things before we've even gotten to it. So I will first introduce the word here, or reintroduce it since we've already learned it in a main lesson with the whole group of students. Now this is a small group. So we're going to reintroduce the word here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're going to trace it. I might show them how to trace it, but as far as the rest of it, I want to provide as minimal amount of help as possible because I really want them to achieve and succeed on their own. So I'll explain here. They're going to trace it, they're going to write it, and then for this build it, they will take their letters, they're going to identify and find the letters they need, place them in the boxes like this. They're going to place them down, it'll say here, and then they're going to identify it in this bank of words. I also modified this to make the words a little bit more similar to the word here, to make it a little harder, just because this is review and we really want them comfortable with the word here. They should already kind of know it and be familiar with it, so this should be a little more challenging but not super hard. And then if we have time, since this is a mini lesson, we only have about 10-ish minutes to get through it. If we have time, we'll write out a sentence with the word here. If we don't, we might just discuss what some sentences could be with the word here in it. So that is our activity. As far as accommodations, I'll be working with a student who has autism, and they might have difficulty participating, or maybe they can fully participate, but they have some difficulty in fully being engaged at all times. So I would want to have some manipulatives on hand that might assist them. I would use pipe cleaners for this activity just because we are able to manipulate them into the letters we want to spell out the word here. We can turn them into circles and place them over the word to identify the word here in our find it part, but really just something that they are able to mold and play with and kind of just make it interactive and fun for them, so that increases engagement. They might also have a hard time identifying the word here on this page when they need to refer back to it, just because there's kind of a lot going on. And although we're going to go step by step, we're not just going to do it all at once. We're going to first start with tracing, then we're going to write, then we're going to do this, then we're going to focus on this. We'll do instructions in pieces. It's still kind of hard. It's still a lot. So I'm going to have the index card with the word here on it, and they're able to refer to it at all times. And it's going to be at eyesight. It's going to be at eye level for them, so they're always able to look at that. And then for instructions are also difficult to follow in general when you just have a lot thrown at you. So I'm going to make sure to really go piece by piece with my instructions. Instructions for this, we're all going to work on it together. And then instructions for this, we'll all work on it. Instructions for this, we'll all work on it, and so on and so forth. And finally, to discuss a little bit as to why I designed this activity. Sight words, since we're working with first grade, students should already have learned how to decode words in a way. They're able to sound out words and read them, but sight words are difficult. They have the sneaky E, they have different elements to them that make them a little bit more difficult to just sound out and know. So we do encourage them to memorize them, know them by sight, and in order to do that, familiarity is a really big piece of that. We want them to see it as often as possible, see them more, work with them more, be comfortable writing them, be able to identify it faster and easier. That just really helps with their reading fluency, and so I thought this would be a really great way to practice that. I also thought it was great to include some words that are more on the difficult side, meaning here and here, the other version of here. Those are tough ones. There, and there are tough ones. So I included in our Find It bank some words that are very similar, like hero, the other here, the here, the sound here, different things like that, so that they are able to differentiate and just really become familiar. But yeah, that's why I thought it would be such a great activity. Thank you.